to bed too late. My mother knocks on the door. I drop my cape and mask to the floor. I turn back to a little kid. No one knew the secrets that I hid. I could be a superhero and save the world again and again. I could be a superhero, and now those days have returned. Long, long time ago, well, things were not so planned, you know. I would fly far away, inside every colored day. I could be a superhero and save the world again and again. I could be a superhero, and now the
In the 1980s, the newsstand was no longer the dominant place to purchase comics. Comic book publishers began to recognize the collector's market and the significance of the comic book store. With collectors turning to their comic book shop to buy new issues, a new trend appeared. The independent comic book boom took hold. Though not polished in design, these mostly black and white issues dealt with strong subject matters and outrageous characters. This new breed of radical comics was reminiscent of the underground comics of the 60s. Many independents ignored the comic code, and it seemed as if everyone was publishing a comic book. The major comic publishers have taken notice of the more graphic comic books and their popularity. Incorporating this new art form and satisfying the collector's thirst for more mature subject matter, the graphic novel evolved. Certainly, comic books had changed. Characters were experiencing more personal problems, and their vulnerabilities were exposed as they became more believable to the reader. The advent of the graphic novel allowed the subject matter and the characters to be explored to their limits. The most influential of the graphic novels are The Dark Knight by Frank Miller, which was an inspiration for the movie Batman, DC's Watchmen, Arkham Asylum, as well as Faust and Stray Toasters. Naturally, the price tags on these graphic novels are considerably higher than the standard comic book due to the superior quality of the illustrations, printing process, and paper stock. Graphic novels often stray from the classic comic book format. Panels are arranged in unconventional layouts. Characters and storylines often appear in abstract form, such is the case with Art Spiegelman's highly acclaimed Mouse.
It's about what happened to my father and mother, which is they were Jews in Eastern Europe during the Hitler years, and they got caught up in the entire maelstrom, including the concentration camps. It's in the form of a comic book, in the form of my father relating to me what happened to him and my mother, and the characters in the book are portrayed with animal heads. It's a comic book for adults.
Many of today's illustrators are learning the craft of the School of Visual Arts in New York City. Comic book illustrating is taught by some of the greatest comic book artists of all time there. Eisner, Kirby, and DC's Joe Orlando among SVA's faculty.
I think drawing can be learned. Learned as easily as you learn how to write. People who say I can't draw a straight line are right on track. They shouldn't be drawing straight lines, given the the necessary essentials most people can really enjoy.
One of the most important things about being a collector is knowing how to take care of your comics. Comic book paper contains acid, which is a residual effect of the manufacturing process. This accelerates the aging process. Although you can't stop the aging process, here are some products that help slow it down. You've probably seen comic books in plastic bags at comic stores and conventions. These sleeves are especially designed for comic book storage. Two of the most popular are polypropylene and Mylar bags manufactured by DuPont. You should get into the habit of changing the sleeves every 2 to 3 years for maximum protection. It's also a good idea to use acid-free backing boards. These prevent your comics from creasing and bending while in storage. Collectors should keep their collections in storage boxes. Boxes free of acid are also available to collectors. By following these steps, you can assure yourself a long-lasting collection. You all know Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, and the Mighty Thor, but 1967 Marvel's Nut Brand Ek #3 showed them in a slightly different way, where it was now Charlie America, the Incredible Bulk, and the Mighty Thor fighting crime.